panic.
Don't panic, everyone.
As in, Chai and Ferrari have not bottomed it that hard yet, but Infratic will have double stacked with his teammate. Matty D,
Oof.
believe it or not, is leading a Grand Prix with 10 laps to go in this Grand Prix. Everybody's made their pit stops. Everybody's on intermediates. It's time to head over to Clipbook Corner. Josh, what do you got for us?
Yep. So we're here. Oh. Yeah. So this is coming off of the last safety car restart, heading down into turn 1. A bit of context there in front of Dale, and Dragonfly's not getting a great exit. Dale having a look to the inside now, trying to get an opportunity here, but then there's some contact. He picks up some wing damage, unfortunately getting caught up, I think, there with Punju as well behind. So that's costing him some positions there, and on the initial restart, picked up some damage as well. And then this is what has put us under this next safety car, as the rain is now falling. Still with that wing damage, making his way through the final sector. Following behind Ultra Killer as well, might be losing a bit of downforce. Although, actually, no, sorry, completely missed what happened. He goes down the inside of Ultra Killer, compromises his line, I think, a bit on the entry, and that wing damage as well. Now, as he comes through the fast S's into the wall on the exit, absolutely nothing he could do there. As soon as he was heading towards that wall, it was race over. Doing something relatively similar to what Dragonflies did, although hitting the outside wall instead of the inside wall. But yeah, really unfortunate end for Dale. That wing damage definitely playing a part in that one.
Yeah, almost certainly. I think that goes back to that initial wing damage we saw, the contact with Dragonflies earlier in the lap and understeered into the wall. The Armco getting its, well, let's just say getting its money's worth in this Grand Prix and the qualifying session. Stats from Hayden Gullis, who's somehow up in a podium position at the moment. This could be an interesting run. We've got Matty and Hayden Gullis, both of whom were at the back of the pack come most of this race, now find themselves at the top of the grid. 1 podium, 1 pole to Hayden's name. Dark Viper with 10 starts and 3 DNFs, making it a 30% DNF rate. I spoke to him earlier. He said he's hoping to equal out the DNF rate of Mr. Dale. And, well, I think that 64% has somewhat increased now for the Red Bull Racing driver. Matty D, 16 DNFs from 49 race starts, 0 podium, 0 wins. And, well, he's got a penalty to his name. I think only 3 seconds for the Kicksauber. But he will have the advantage to do a safety car restart.
I mean, let's just remember where you were when you saw Matty D lead a Creator Series race. It's, what's the time? It's 8:21 p.m. on the 16th of November 2024. How long he'll hold it, I'm not sure. But let's see how this goes. I mean, the rain is still coming down here. I don't know how heavy it's going to be. I don't know if we get an update on how heavy the rain is going to come down. Are we going to get to full wet tyres?
Well, the question is, are they going to want to pit with less than 10 laps to go in this Grand Prix? Can Matty D hold on? But not only hold on, gain a 3-second advantage back to Dark Viper. That guy Vince, of course, who had to pit 2 times in the last, 3 or 4 laps, is still up in P4. So a good recovery from that guy Vince, who makes his 61st race start today. And so far, looking rather good. Speaking of race starts, Razin with his 70th, DB with 65th, and Matty on his 50th race start leads a Grand Prix.
Certainly does. And in terms of drivers that have dropped down because of that safety car, apologies there, is GB has fallen down to 8th place. Got a lot of work to do to catch up now.
Certainly does. He won't have any tyre advantage, of course. There's not much difference between 1 lap old, 2 lap old, maybe even 3 lap old intermediates. The front 4 may suffer somewhat. Of course, they drove those intermediates on a dry track, so they will have some damage to them. That'll be Matty D, Dark Viper, Hayden Gullis, and that guy Vince. So it'll be Cryotix's on the newest intermediate tyres. But of course, Matty has control over the field. We've got the safety car going in, and Matty D will be doing a safety car restart here in the F1 Creator Series.
Don't think you'd ever thought you'd be saying those words, TK, at the start of a Creator Series race. But here we go. Matty D will lead us away at the restart of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. We're on lap 42 of 51. It's anyone's game to play for. And who is going to walk away with the victory here around the streets of Baku?
Well, Matty taking it nice and slow up towards the line. The spray looking incredibly more efficient than we saw earlier in this race. The rain continues to fall in Azerbaijan, weaving to get any heat in the tyres, and he puts his foot to the floor, and he will go in a straight line. He's not been able to drop Dark Viper as much as he would have liked. Hayden Gullis as well following through, but the all-important braking zone in towards turn number 1. Can the Kick Sauber successfully get the car slowed? Yes, he can. Dark Viper does, as does Gullis, as does Danko Vince, as does everybody behind. But into the traction zone, Dark Viper down the inside. For turn number 2, Matty D tries to swoop it around the outside. DRS becomes disabled. Matty D holding on to the race lead.
He certainly does. He's defending with all his life in that Kick Sauber, and it's trying for Dark Viper GT to get the move done, but he can't do it on this occasion. He has to stay behind the Kick Sauber as other drivers are trying to make their way through the pack. GB has lost out to Lolinova, who's now made it past Razin Shai, who is now struggling in these wet conditions compared to the dry ones a bit earlier on.
Yeah, certainly are indeed. I think drivers just getting used to the wet conditions.
Oh!
There's a slide. Razin's into the wall. Lost a bit of damage as well there. Front left end plate and a considerable amount of front wing missing for the Scuderia. I think he's going to allow his teammate through as well. Well, that could be race well and truly over for Razin Shai. Fratic will be begging his teammate to let him through. There's still a smile on his face, though, as he continues through up into the castle section. I wonder if that is a mischievous smile on the face of Mr. Shai.
It might be indeed, as Gillen's made his way through as well. Gillen up into 7th place. As right now, Matty still leads the Grand Prix. And how long will that last? We've got one long straight, but of course no DRS to work out. He does have a 3-second time penalty, do not forget. So right now, Dark Viper GT is your net race leader. But of course, anything could still happen. Maybe Matty D will make 3 seconds up. You never know.
Literally anything could happen in Baku, especially when the rain continues to fall. I don't think Matty D is going to be able to survive a lap in terms of laps led in this Grand Prix. They're not going to go too wide, surely, before the corner. Are they going to go 3 wide as Hayden Gullis balls to the outside line? It's Dark Viper who's upside and ahead. Matty D trying to hold on to second, but Hayden Gullis just swooping around the outside there. Beautiful move from the V-car, but it's now Viper and Gullis that will continue to fight in this Grand Prix. Matty D led a lap in a Grand Prix. Oh! You never thought you'd say that. Punju's out in the pit lane, and that is going to be no more from the McLaren driver.
It's a shame for Punju, retires in the pits. And of course, that won't cause a safety car. We're on lap 44 of 51. And trying to see what's going on in front as Matty D got a little. I thought I saw some damage flying off there from the Kick Sauber as Cryax is trying to attack the Kick Sauber. No damage. I thought I must have seen something else. But it looks like GB is also trying to make that move as well. Matty's brave defense of P1. He did lead a lap. He can say he's led a lap.
He did indeed. It's an honour to lead a lap in the Create Series. It doesn't happen to many people, but Matty D up in the Hall of Fame. 4 laps led. He has his name on the board. Oh, Hayden Gullis into the castle section. He's round. He's sideways. He's facing the wrong way. Everybody's coming up at full speed. We've got a car park in the castle, and we've got a safety car once again.
Oh my God, the penalty
handed out like candy.
Flying through. Can I tell you one man that did make it through? GB. He snuck his way through the grid. He's up into 3rd. And Gillen did as well.
Wow, this is going to be a race end to end all race ends. Dark Viper leads the safety car train. Alex Gillen up from P20 to P2. GB up from P15. Whatever plot armor Alex Gillen has in his inventory, I want it.
I certainly do. But can you see the grooves that goes into the making of the track, TK? I mean, it's getting properly wet out here.
Yeah, I wonder if I haven't seen anyone dive in for the wets at the moment. People are calling it's going to be potentially a free win for Dark Viper, but who knows? People might dive into the pit lane. Let's keep an eye.
Oh, what's going to happen? No, they didn't make it. No one's made the call. Or someone has. Cryax has.
Cryzik's in, Lonnie Nova, Matty D. I think people with wing damage have got in. I think that's what's going to happen because so many people piled into each other into that castle section after Hayden Gullis found himself facing the wrong way, and everybody's going to be serving their 10-second penalties here.
Yeah, 10-second time penalties being served across the grid. Still intermediate tyres are being put on these cars. No one risking the full wets.
I think that's a brave move. I don't think there's enough puddles on this circuit yet. Oh, there we go. Meraki making it a Williams blue tyre. And he will be the only one on full wets. Let's see if that pays off for him.
I mean, the rain is coming down a lot heavier now, TK. I think it might pay off. Obviously, I know full wets aren't your favourite tyre. No one likes driving them. But on a track that's properly damp like it is right now, they will be gaining him a lot more time than the Inters.
Well, we said it was going to be storm conditions here in Baku. It well and truly is storm conditions here in the streets of Azerbaijan. I think Meraki either has made it or braked it, but I think considering how close the pack is, especially how narrow the circuit is, that's what's really going to pay off in dividends for the drivers that have managed to avoid the danger, managed to stay at the front of the grid. And I have to say, I think your bet on GB winning this race could come to fruition.
Oh God, don't say it now. He's found his way into third. Somehow he got through that pack. I'd love to see the onboard from that. I'm sure we've got a couple of clips to go through. We'll just work out if the safety car's going to be up now. Like Gillen on the radio. I can't believe what I've just witnessed. Neither could we, Gillen. Neither could we. And we'll get some clips, I'm sure, from the clip book. I imagine it will be out for another lap, so we should have enough opportunity to go through them all. Josh is just preparing them right now. But TK, can you believe what we've just witnessed?
I can't. I think that team radio sums up what we are all thinking here at the moment. I think I can even speak for our producer Gareth. I think I can speak for everybody in the audience as well. And we will be able to see GP's reaction at the moment. That is a man that looked very unfazed with what is happening at the moment. He finds himself in P3, of course, finishing P2 last time out in Season 5. So well versed to a race round here in Azerbaijan. I don't think Safso or Tom are going to be able to catch up with the safety car before we go for another lap. So we'll have a brief moment of grace before we go on to lap 46. We'll restart on lap 47, which means we have 5 laps to go.
Is anyone going to risk a pit stop? Someone is.
Surely not.
Someone's gone for it. That guy Vince, I think.
10 seconds, that makes sense.
10 seconds. Might as well just roll the dice, I'm guessing.
I wonder if this could be full wet to the Aston Martin.
Surely has to be.
Front wing.
Yep, full wets, front wing, and serving in 10 seconds. And we can go down to the clip book, and we can see how that's going.
Yep, so this is the incident that happened down in the castle section. Hayden just locking up, sliding into the barrier. That guy Vince gets collected, and then just a car park forming behind us. They all get collected. So that's the first POV we had. Really unfortunate from Vince, though. Picked up some damage just getting collected there as Hayden hit the barriers. Hayden very lucky still to be in this race, to be honest. We've got this POV from GB as well. He was a couple cars further behind another car to get caught up in it as well. He's got Vince 2 cars ahead of him, Hayden 3 cars ahead as he's now coming down into the castle section. Just got past Matty. And then you can see the crash there. Kryzik's getting caught up as well, and GB getting blocked in. Luckily finds a way through, no damage on his car. Very lucky from him, and Alex, you can see, he's just sneaking past as well. And then the final PV I have is from Infratic. He was a bit further behind, down in P14, but you can see, I think from this one, you'll see a lot of debris flying off. You can see the yellow left. All the cars stopping, and you can see on the left-hand side of the track, all the debris just stricken across the track as everybody's been piling into the back. Not surprised that we've seen so many cars heading into
very
the pit
surprising. We didn't actually see anybody DNF from the race. Once again, thank you, Josh, for getting all the behind the scenes. And look at how heavy it's raining here in Baku. We said there was going to be storm conditions. We said that rain's going to come down. I'm surprised we aren't seeing a river down this hill in towards turn number 16. Team radio from Hayden Gullis. No points to win. No points to the win. To outside the points. Oh, he's talking about his race story.
Oh, okay.
No points to the race win. To outside the points again.
Biblical rain right now. This is biblical rain. The safety car is in. They are not going to make it turn 1, TK. It's going to be Aquaplane City. Meraki may have called a blinder of a pit stop here.
I think he certainly will have. I wouldn't like to be running no ABS in these conditions. Dark Viper will lead us away. Alex Gillen will become the chase car down into turn 1. And El Guri down in P4 will be looking to play devil's advocate with that 3-second penalty that he acquired earlier on. We'll see what GB can do as well, still chasing the maiden win here in the Crate Series. And look how slow Viper is taking us up towards the line. It's like a crawling stampede of F1 cars here at Baku. And he's still in second gear. When is he going to put that foot to the floor? And now he does. He releases the throttle down towards turn number 1. It's Dark Viper that leads us away from Gillen from GB. But this is going to be a chaos into turn 1. Gillen manages to get through, as does GB. El Guri meters away from the rear of the back of the Aston Martin. There's a car gone round further back. I think that might be Kryzix, who's lost out to Meraki, just trying to hold on as they're side by side. For the moment, it's still Dark Viper from Alex Gillen.
It certainly is. They're somehow holding on to these inters in these torrential conditions here at Baku. You can imagine the braking zones. Meraki's made it past Razin Shai up into P9. He's on his charge on those full wet tyres. But somehow these guys are keeping it. You can see the braking zones are not there anymore for the Mercedes of Dark Viper. As now GB's looking for that move. Gillen goes down the inside. Is he going to be able to make it stick? He gets run wide and it's going to open the door for GB. He's going to get the run on the Sauber. Can he make it stick past the Sauber? He's going to take the lead of the Grand Prix before the castle section. They go wheel to wheel. He's surely going to back off because they can't go wheel to wheel at the castle. They are! And GB takes the lead of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix.
He sneaks through the inside. Dark Viper, open the door. We got a yellow flag and we have a virtual safety car. Further back, surely more carnage in the castle. Nogueira getting a 10-second penalty there for a collision with Kryzix down in P11 and P12. Fortunately, only a virtual. No, we've got a full safety car. Bert Mylander out once again. Coming out of the pit lane. 47 of 51. Surely this is going to be a 2-lap sprint to the end of the Grand Prix now.
And GB leads in Baku.
We've seen this before.
Lord. I've read the script. I know how this goes.
This is a classic in the Playmaker's tale. Time and time again.
The man's reaction. We need to see this man's face right now. Because I have no idea. What emotion is going through that man's head?
There is probably fear, a little bit of vertigo, and a little bit of worry, especially with Alex Gillen behind you at the moment. There we go. Just a reminder of how many race wins that man has got. If he can make it race win 1 on lap 78, as Kryzix gets a 10-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags. Is that as he's dived into the pits?
I think so. He's got it for diving into the pits a bit too early. So we're going to get a maximum of 2 laps under... Or is it maybe going to be... Is it going to be 3 laps and a 1-lap sprint?
I think they'll release us with 2, but they sometimes release us with 1. We'll keep an eye and see what Bert Mylander will do. 10-second penalties being removed for Kryzix and Nogueira there, and full wets for the drivers that have pitted on already. So Meraki and P8 on the full wets. Datko, Vince and Safso pitted 2 laps ago onto the full wets. And Matty D, Dragonflies, Nogueira and Kryzix will be joining them. Everybody else, from GB down to Lolly Nova and then Ultra Killer down to Tom, remains on the intermediates. However, if you can see the amount of rainfall here in Baku, I wouldn't be surprised if this would be red flagged in real life.
It would have been red flagged about 3 hours ago. It feels like they would not. They saw the rain on the radar and they would have red flagged it, TK. But our drivers stay out on the circuit. And, well, just to give you a quick update, to remind you who's leading this Grand Prix, it's GB, 68, who has not won a Grand Prix in the Creator Series before.
It is indeed. He's on the second freshest set of intermediates. Of course, some drivers on 3 laps old. That'd be Hayden Gullis, Lolly Nova, Razin Chai and Tom. If we knew how many warnings GB was on, if he's on more than 1, I think he'll be sweating even more considerably. Lap 49 is what we're about to head on to, almost certainly under safety car rule once again, which means we will head off almost certainly onto lap 50 with free will. We'll see no more safety cars in this Grand Prix. We don't have the laps remaining for them. GB apparently on 0 warnings.
Oh my lord.
According to chat. He's got freedom to extend track limits to his advantage. And we have a live standings up on your screen. El Guri now pipping out Nogueira, who was looking closer to Tiamat Malik. But of course the driver that is away accepting his princehood of Wales this afternoon will be safe for another day.
So we're going to get a 2-lap shootout. We have 3 clips ready. Should we go over to the clip book before we head on to the last 3 laps?
Yeah, let's head over. Oh, there we go. Let's head over to Joseph. See what he. Oh, Joseph, Josh. My apologies, Josh. What have you got for us?
All right. Thank you, TK. So first and foremost, great bit of driving here from GB. He was third off the restart, following Gillen and Dark Viper. But coming into the chicane, Gillen has a look up the inside of Dark Viper. Everybody's struggling for grip here, and he gets an amazing switchback here. Gets up the inside now of Gillen, and as they make their way down towards turn 7, he's quite a way back, but full send onto the brakes, gets his car up the inside, and squeezes his way through. Now, still though, wheel to wheel towards the castle section. But full send once again. GB gets the car rotated, and he manages to get the move done. This is what, though, caused the safety car. We're going to see a very similar sort of thing, wheel to wheel, heading down towards turn 7 between Nogueira and Kryzix. Nogueira sending it late on the brakes, as we saw once again, in towards turn number 7. And now to the castle section. This time around, though, not going to work out as well. Round goes the Mercedes, damage there, and I believe another pile-up, which is what brought out the VSC and then the safety car. This is it from Kryzix POV, so we got the Mercedes on the right-hand side, just keeping an eye on the track. We have got a bit of time, and Nogueira sends it late, loses the rear end, looks like he just locked the rears, and damage for the Alpine as well. Really unfortunate there, just a passenger, really. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of confidence from a few drivers there, especially on the full wet tyres. Potentially a fair bit of overconfidence, shall we say, as we see drivers heading through for the final laps of this Grand Prix. This is so exciting. I am standing up to finish off this Grand Prix. Call me Mr. Gareth Allen, because I'm standing up to commentate for the final laps of this, and we will have 2 laps to go. Just over 7 miles of racing, 7.2 miles to finish off what's been a thrilling 51-lap Grand Prix. GB68 leads this Grand Prix. Yes, I said it. GB leads with 2 laps to go. Where have we said that one before? Dark Viper will be challenging him into turn 1, as will Alex Gillen. And let's keep an eye on our race leader as we go through. We're going to get a live reaction, and I can see the shine on that forehead. The sweat is dripping.
The man, he's got, well, can he get the world at his feet on this one last push? 2 laps to go when they cross the line. A man that's never won here in the Creator Series. Is he about to pull off a miracle? And are we going to see something special here this afternoon?
They say miracles happen when you least expect them. I don't think anybody expected GB not only to come back from P15 where he first started this race, but to come back from adversity after adversity, and he has indeed put his foot to the floor, and he's caught Viper napping over a second already as we run down towards turn number 1. Could this be the advantage he needs? Gillen gets a good launch into turn 1. The kick salver dispatches the Mercedes car, who's going to come back at him. He's going to try the switchback, but I don't think he's got the advantage. But 1 second is what the Aston Martin has in his favour as we head through the first 2 turns.
GB leads by 1.1 seconds, and there's an RB of Hayden Gullis who's just lost it completely, but he's still going in the right direction. Somehow, after that spin in the castle section, Hayden's in the top 10. God knows how that's happened in this race. We're on the penultimate lap here in Baku, and GB is leading by 1 second here in Baku. Yes, you heard us right. GB is leading with a lap to go and a 1 second advantage in a full wet circuit on inters.
Don't forget, they've got 2 chances. They have to get through the castle section clean on both opportunities. Meraki up in P6, the first driver to bolt on the full wet tyres in this session. Let's keep an eye as they file through the castle. GB through successfully. Gillen with a slight tap. Viper with an even bigger tap through the castle section. But El Rey Guri practically pushing Dark Viper through. Over the top of the crest of the hill they go. And we've got 1.5 laps of racing to go. This is El Rey Guri trying to go down the inside of Dark Viper. A move that he pulls off with precision. He's missing both front end plates on the front wing. But El Rey Guri looks unstoppable at the moment.
Certainly does, and Ultra Killer's out of the race, but it's Amati is also out of the race. Double collision towards the back of the grid, and GB leads by 0.5 of a second. It's come down in the first corner. We're going on to the last lap. Is Gillen going to win from last, or is GB going to win from 15th? We've got 1 lap to decide it, TK.
This is going to be the battle of the Batty
Raz is out as
Razin
well.
falling foul through the third sector as well. The Scuderia Ferrari in absolute pieces. The front wheels completely missing, but GB leads us on to turn number 1 as we head through into the final lap. Lap 51 of 51, and GB68 heads through to turn 2. Can he finally break the curse that he hasn't been able to for 65 race starts so far? It's looking like a dream result for himself, but it's not over yet. He's got Alex Gillen trying to chase him down. 2.5 tenths is the advantage to the Kick Sauber at the moment. He's looking down the inside line, and I think if Gillen's going to be over-optimistic here, we could see a massive collision that allows El Guri through, but for the time being, GB68 just holding on to the race win.
This is nail-biting stuff for both drivers, for the fans watching at home. It's one person who can win this race, and who's going to do it? Is it going to be GB, or is it going to be Gillen? And we've got to go through the castle section one last time. If you could hold it here, GB, and you could get it down the main straight, you've got a chance of a Grand Prix victory.
It's tentative through the castle section, but he's made it work. But on the back of him is the Kick Sauber. Matty D leaving the session, but that is not what we're focused on at the moment. It is the Aston Martin. 64 times he has entered the Creator Series. 64 times he has finished the bridesmaid and never the bride, but this time it's looking very strong. Alex Gillen with a good drag down towards turn number 16, but he's not quite close enough on this occasion. Can he try a move round the inside? They're both sliding as they come up towards the line. It's going to be an almighty photo finish as we head through the third sector. It's a tap on the rear by the Kick Sauber, but Alex Gillen as we run down towards the line. Who's got the better battery? Who's got the more battery left in them? It's going to be a battle of slipstream on appearance number 65. GB68 up towards the line, wins the Baku Grand Prix. GB breaks the speed and he wins his first ever race.
GB68 is a Grand Prix winner in the Creator Series, and he's done it by 1/10 of a second.
Holy race of races, what we've just seen. GB Team Radio, come on. Yes, come on. I think there's probably a lot more words that he wants to say right now. I didn't think it would ever come his way, but GB68 is a race winner in the F1 Creator Series. Top step goes to the Aston Martin. And well, he couldn't have picked a better time to do it.
What a race, what a moment, and what a memory for that man right there. First victory in the Creator Series. He's done it from 15th on the grid for his first win, and that is how you want to remember your first victory. Of course, we can't discount Alex Gillen from 20th to 2nd, and he was 1/10 away from a Grand Prix win. But my goodness me, what a Grand Prix we've just watched.
Wow, your full race rundown. GB wins and Alex Gillen just 1/10 behind him at the end. Dark Viper will share the podium as Lolly Noba, Infratic, Meraki, Hayden Gullis, El Guri, Naguera and Safso round out your top 10. Vince, Tom, Kryzix, Dragonflies, Razin, Chai, Matty D and Ultra Killer are your finishers. Bunju, Mr. Dale and Ricky 03, your DNFs from this afternoon.
Oh,
I think I need a breather. I think
I need to lie down after that.
Oh, what a Grand Prix, what a race, and what a result for GB68. The Aston Martin getting his first get it, and I'm sure we'll be able to get him in for a chat in the next couple of minutes.
I'm sure we will. Wow. What a race. What a moment. And I mean, I believe if we want to just jump over to Josh on the clip book, Josh, you were, I'm sure, as on the edge of your seat as we were for that final race. You've got a couple of clips for us.
Yeah, I mean, it's always going to be very chaotic when you have those last 2 laps after a safety car. First clip I have here, this is just ahead of him. Dragonflies as well is the Haas he's fighting with here. You can't really see it where his camera is. And then we have, getting out of shape there on the exit. Kryzix gets past, and then Matty D, they're going wheel to wheel through these fast left-handers. Unfortunately, just a bit of contact into the wall goes to the McLaren. I think Matty D also, yes, out of the race there as well. Both of them crashing out with just one more lap to go. We also had Razin also crashing out on the same lap number 50. Another driver getting caught out in the tricky conditions as he made his way through these final few laps. Really struggling in the conditions. You can see how slippery it is. All the drivers struggling for grip, and as he comes through the fast chicane, hits that wall that Dragonflies hits, and then the wall that Dale hits. He managed to hit both of them. But yeah, another driver coming to blows with those walls, and it is race over, unfortunately, for the Ferrari driver. Just finally as well. Let's watch this reaction from GB as he crosses the line. When the realization sets in that he is a winner here in the F1 Creator Series, it's been a long time coming. 65 races it took him. But here with the rain in Baku, managed to hold off Gillen just 1/10 across the line, and you can see what it means to him. It's been a long time coming for sure.
I think long time coming is such an understatement to see, and the smile on his face is absolutely fantastic to see. Josh, thank you so much for those behind the scenes. I'm sure we'll come back to you a little bit later on as well. Well, we have got all three drivers sat in the interview waiting room, lovely and ready to go. Let's get Dark Viper in first. We'll work our way up the podium. Well, Viper, welcome in to the commentary box, and well done on another podium to add to your race stat sheet.
Oh, thank you. I think it's my first F1 podium, to be fair. It's a bit hectic at the end there.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably an understatement of what it was like at the end of that race. But yeah, let's talk us through that. Like, how was it to actually drive in those conditions? Because it clearly wasn't into weather at that point. That was full wet, probably red flag conditions if it was real Formula One. So what was it like for you to drive in that?
I'm not going to lie, the adrenaline was running. I remember literally none of what happened there. I've never been so high up on the grid. It's quite difficult. But once you got that first lap, then great.
Yeah, it was a good race all round, and obviously your first podium in the F1 Crazy Series, you got to witness what was, let's just say, a crazy battle up in the lead of the race. I think you led the Grand Prix at one point as well. Like, talk us through how you're feeling heading on. Was that just a fantastic race?
Yeah, I mean, the last three have been absolute stinkers. Mexico, I was 17th the whole race, and then Brazil, I was 17th the whole race. Oh, it's so nice to have a good result. I kind of needed it. Thought I was washed.
Well, certainly aren't washed. What a way to make a comeback as well, and congratulations on the podium. We look forward to more of them in your future, my friend. Okay. No comment from Dark Viper for the end there.
Yeah, no comment. Well, let's bring in your second place finisher now, and Mr. Alex Gillen, who's just being prepared, and Mr. Gillen, who came from Fuji and then came second here in Baku, missing out on the Grand Prix win by 1/10 of a second. Mr. Gillen, I'm guessing you didn't expect that when you joined late from qualifying and started last on the grid.
Well, I've started last a few times recently. I prefer it. I have more fun and create better content when I go from the back. I learned that after Mexico when I led for so long and then just didn't even get the result anyway. So it's like, oh, what's the point? So the start from the back thing's not the end of the world. But yeah, it was just a case of just keeping it clean today. It was so many wings flying about, and I don't think I got any damage at any point. Bit lucky though with the carnage that was in the castle section. I managed to gain about 5 positions from that, I think, and I did hit somebody, but for some reason didn't get damaged. So yeah, the season's not been going my way, but today it did, so I'll take it. And you know what? When I came across the line, I was buzzing for GB. It's been so long that he's not won a race. It's unbelievable that he's not won. He's finally done it. I was genuinely like, he's done it. Let's go. I was like happy to lose the race, which is a different feeling. But P2, my first podium of the season. I'm happy with my result as well.
Yeah, it was a fantastic race all around. We saw the moment when he managed to sneak through at the castle. I think it was when Hayden managed to spin his car around facing the wrong way. Yourself and GB just managing to nip through whatever micro gap you managed to find yourselves. But as you said, a weird situation to find yourself cheering for not a race win. But that's what we love about the Crazy Series and the community they have here.
Yeah, exactly that. Like, just GB's owed a win, you know, like there's been so many places where he should have won. Some of them been bottles, some have been bad luck. Like, you know, Brazil, he disconnected when he was right in the fight. Like, it's one of those things. It was almost becoming a meme. It'd been that far. So yeah, it's absolutely buzzing for him. So yeah, congrats to him.
Amazing stuff. And looking forward to the rest of the season, of course. We've got Vegas, Qatar, Abu Dhabi, and potentially a mystery Grand Prix to finish off the season as well. How are you feeling about your hopes going into the Final Four?
Well, just got to keep plugging away, really. I feel like I've done well this season. The results just haven't been there. I want to win a race. I think I've won a race every single season I've participated in Creator Series. So I don't want to break that duck this season if I can help it. But it's also heaping lots of pressure on myself talking about that. But I do want to win a race. So hopefully one of them I can win. The championship's obviously Ben surely sewn that one up, especially after today. But I want to win. That's what happened in Mexico. I went all in for the win. Didn't work for me. I didn't want to go all in for it today. I said under the safety car 10 laps on the end, I said I want to get a podium here. I'm not going to go all in for the win. I have to get almost guarantee myself a podium. If I can win, great. But a podium was the goal. Whereas from now I've got that podium. Now it's all about the win.
Amazing stuff. Unless Alex has anything further for Alex, I'll let you head off.
No, that's all my questions. So yeah, thank you, Mr. I was going to say Mr. Gillen. I'm going to say Mr. Gillen because it seems
very formal.
Yeah,
thanks guys.
Thanks for jumping in, and yeah, I'm sure we'll speak to you again soon.
Yeah, cheers guys. Bye.
Thank you so much.
And,
well, I think we've left our audience waiting long enough, haven't we?
It's time to bring in the triumphant winner here into the commentary box. Well, there's not more we can say than the man who's finally picked up his first win in the Creator Series. I predicted it on the qualifying season, so I'll take full credit for it. But no, GB, mate, what a race. And I mean, yeah, I imagine, first of all, going through that castle section, when you hit the side of an RB and didn't get damaged, you would have thought, has my luck changed? Is this the moment I can get this win?
I was trying to figure out what car it was, actually. Yeah, honestly, that was nuts. I think it was Hayden in the VC that said that he lost the car, and then it was just chaos. Gillen obviously went through around the outside. I managed to just about make it through on the inside. I only didn't get damaged because I just slowed right down. My headspace right then was just, whatever you do, don't get damaged, because that's race over at that point. So yeah, I just basically stopped to a hole. Luckily got through, and I mean, there were so many incidents in that race. Yeah, just crazy. But like I said to you guys in quali, it doesn't always matter in Creator Series, whether you're on pole, whether you're on P15. You just got to try and keep it kind of drive a smart race and get your head down.
Yeah, it was an almighty race all throughout. I think it was consistency that really paid off in the end. And one thing I have said in every race I've done in this season, I've added milestones into my coverage. So race starts, top 10s, poles, and DNFs. And at the bottom of that, every single round, I've had GB's first win, question mark. We can tick that off the list on round 8.
I've got to say, I think this is Gareth Allen I need to blame, but because I got that lovely DNF in Q2, I was able to see the GB, what was it, the giant donut for 0 wins. So you can change that. You can change that now. Thank you very much. Oh, honestly, I don't know how to describe the final 2 laps, but like I realized within about 5-6 laps of the race that I was probably running the lowest wings on the grid, or certainly one of the lowest. So I knew I had really good straight line speed, which I did kind of with the wet in mind, thinking that it will be really hard to overtake otherwise. And unfortunately, that meant that Alex was right up my gearbox for like the last 2 laps and applying a lot of pressure. But I knew that if I got to the final straight, we should be able to hold him off with a straight line speed advantage, and that's luckily what happened.
Yeah, it was just a fantastic race. Alex, have you got anything more for GB?
Yeah, the only thing I want to ask is that is the thing that just obviously the last safety car brought you all back together. But before that last safety car, you made a double overtake and round the outside of the castle section in full wet conditions. And when you were going for that move round the Mercedes, we thought it's either going to end one of 2 ways going into that move.
I want to review that move. That was obviously what won me the race in the end. I didn't think that would be what. That wasn't my thinking at the time, but I saw I saw Viper, I think, made a mistake. It was turn 3, which put him completely out of shape into turn 4 with Alex obviously going down the inside. But in those conditions, Dark Viper was never going to yield, and it's hard to overtake around that corner. So I was just thinking, let's go really slow on the entry and just fire off the exit. Managed to get past Alex and then just sent it on Dark Viper because the gap was there. So, yeah.
No, that's all my questions. I don't know if you've got any more, TK.
Well, I think the final question is now, what's next for you in the Create Series? Because you've been chasing the race win for so long. And well, what comes next? Is it back-to-back wins for you now?
No, that's it. I'm here to announce right now that I'm retiring from Creator Series. Mic drop. No, I guess business as usual. I don't know. Let's try and get another win next week. I don't know what to say, really. I've always said to my community throughout this season, I knew that I would always miss a lot of races this season. I will miss a lot of races next season as well. And so in my mind, it was just get that W. So we've achieved it. A second one would be nice. Let's go for it in Vegas. I think Vegas is going to be just as spicy as this one was. So, let's see.
Amazing stuff. I'm not sure if you can see the screen share that Gareth has up, but there is certainly a massive one in that position now. And that is how it will stay at least until next week. So until then, massive, massive congratulations on your first win.
Thank you, guys. I'm buzzing. See you next week.
See you next week. Thank you so much, GB. Wow. It may have taken him 65 race starts, but that one race win probably never felt so sweet. Almost as sweet as a donut, but ever so slightly more. We'll pull everybody back in. We'll pull Josh back in as well. I got your name right this time. Pat on the back. Pass on the back for Tom.
Right at the end.
But Josh, what was it like watching that unfold from your point of view there?
Yeah, I mean, seeing all the different POVs, there was a lot of chaos in that final stage of the race. But yeah, I mean, everybody's going to be happy with a GB win. It's been a long time coming, and definitely very deserving of it.
Yeah, it certainly was. And well, what a way to end off a broadcast. GB getting his first ever race win. And well, always good to give ourselves a little bit of a shout as well. Josh, where can people find you at home if they want to check you out just a little bit more so?
Yeah, most of the time I will be commentating over on the SCRL official Twitch channel. That is where you should be able to find me.
Amazing stuff. Alex as well, where can our people check you out on social media?
You can check me out on basically any social media with Deathlink10. Stream on Twitch, Twitter, not stream on Twitter, but I'm on Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff, YouTube. And I do commentary on, obviously, Create Series, PSGL, and SRC. You can check me out on all of those as well.
Amazing stuff. If you want to check out the Create Series socials, they're just above our heads. We've got YouTube, Instagram, X or Twitter, and TikTok as well, all of which are at F1 Creator Series. You should check out our producer as well, who's done all the stuff behind the scenes. He's Mr. Gareth Allen TV, or at Gareth Allen TV, on all the social media gubbins, as he'd like to say. As for myself, I'm at They Call Me TK on pretty much every single social media. But to change things up, I'm going to sign off with 5 very simple words. GB68 is a race winner. Good night.